a little bit. Our little one just woke up, so she's trying to get him back to sleep. But continuing with the story, so as I said, the locust came up and started to destroy humanity, and this takes place 14 years after the locust emerged. So at this point, humanity is kind of at the brink of extinction. They have one major city, Jacinto, that's the last remaining bastion, and it's because it's on a huge bedrock, so the locust can't burrow under it and dig up at it. But you play Marcus Phoenix, who was wrongfully imprisoned. I mean, it's kind of vague in this game, but you had something happened, and Marcus Phoenix was found guilty and was thrown into prison. But since humanity is almost dead, you are pardoned, and so now you're back in the war. Uh, Man, but this is something like we were kind of talking about at the beginning, where like the story is like missing a lot. This is like a common thing in 2006 games. I feel like because I remember Halo. The first Halo was also the same way, where it's just like, oh yeah, yeah, the aliens are attacking, and now you're shooting aliens. But like the story was explained in the manual, or if you were someone like me who followed video games, you kind of knew some pre-text stuff. But obviously, playing this game now in 2025, it's like, what the heck is it talking about? I mean, obviously, all the games are out now, and you can obviously fill in the pieces. But that's obviously if you've played the other games. So we're obviously trying to come at
If
this. I mean, we covered Gears 5. I think that was the only one we did. And so obviously that was
yeah,
farther
that
in the
sounds right.
future. Yeah, and I wanted to do that because I wanted to kind of get your guys' perspective of like, do you need to play all the Gears of War games to kind of figure out what's going on here? And I remember at the time the answer was kind of no. So overall with this game, do you really need to know the context of stuff? No, not really. But the first thing that really cracks me up about the story is this takes place 14 years after this war has started. And I like when you get broken out of prison, you meet the general, he's like, oh, I got a plan to end this war. We're going to drop a bomb in their base. And it's like, that took you 14 years to figure out, hey, we should nuke their base. Man, why didn't we think of this 14 years ago?
But he figured out where he's gonna drop the bomb. Now he
Well, no, he
figured
figured
out
out,
where.
yeah, wait, we need to create a map of their base and then bomb them. And it's just like, okay, 14
But
years. Like,
the
master
thing is,
tactician here.
like, I think it's meant to be very tongue in cheek, honestly. Like the thing about the storytelling overall in Gears of War, and this is something that I actually did appreciate, is it's a very serious overtone. I mean, humanity is at stake at least
Yeah.
14 years in the running to the point where, and I thought this was kind of cool that they were like, you know what? They decided they're just going to destroy themselves. So basically, humanity just nukes itself because they're
Yeah.
just not good. They're not going to let
That was
the locusts destroy them.
our first strategy of killing ourselves did not work. How about we finally
Yes.
kill the enemy?
So we're still here. So let's go ahead and try them now.
The enemy's plan is to kill us. Well, they can't complete their plan if we kill ourselves. That'll teach them.
I mean,
Like, what
I
was their
wasn't really
strategy
thinking of
here?
it like that, but it is kind of funny when you pointed it out.
Oh man.
I thought it was like kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like it was so desperate that they were just going to end it all themselves. But no, that's funnier.
But yeah, like you said, it is, I think, meant to be kind of goofy. I mean, yes and no, because it's obviously very grim. You're going through these obviously abandoned cities and you're seeing dead bodies everywhere. You're literally seeing, I love every other soldier sucks. They literally just get like absolutely decimated within seconds. And you guys are a 4-man squad just decimating all the enemies, which is also a thing that always cracked me up in the story. You are just 4 people versus hundreds of locusts, and you're constantly like, let's split up. Yes, because 4-man is too much of a squad. Let's make it 2 people. Like, what is the strategy? So
They
clearly these people
don't
are
want to
great
slow it down with
tacticians.
4 people. But I also think that like it's kind of funny that not to like get ahead in terms of graphics, but you kind of know very quickly if someone is important just by the sheer body mass of the individual.
No, they're
Like
important
if
because you
they're
see their
just
face. If they're a character, you see
well,
their face.
no, because there's definitely some characters that you see their face, but they end up dying pretty quickly. And generally, anybody who's not a hulking behemoth of a human being is bound to die with it. And they still might. There's still a possibility. But yeah, like I don't know. I think that there's definitely like there's just certain things like the death scenes a couple times. I want to say it's someone fairly early on.
Lieutenant Kim.
Yeah, like his is kind of funny if I remember. And like I said,
Well,
the
he's the one that gets knifed, and then you have Carmine who gets sniped.
maybe. I don't know, but yeah, like,
Carmine's the one where
you
his gun
know,
was jammed and then he picks his head up and gets sniped,
oh yeah, but
which
along
is
the way
kind of
too,
a
there's
running
just
gag. There's always a Carmine in every Gears, and they always die.
okay, but yeah, even along the way, there's just different little NPCs that are just killed off, and it's just kind of funny because they're just like, well, anyways, he's dead. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Just- nobody ever
It does kind of make me
cares.
laugh. And he's just like, "Yep, okay, moving on with the war." But yeah, the story, like, I, I was obviously playing this like kind of in different segments, and there's a lot of times where I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. They're like, "Oh, we need to go to the Phoenix estate to get a map," and it's just like, okay, I don't know why, but I guess we're getting a map there. Like, obviously, like I said, it's filled in the grander story of things, but like within this game, if you're just watching the cutscenes, the context of stuff going on is just like, okay, we're just going to this destination to get a map now. Like, literally, you do the resonator. Oh, we need the resonator to map out their base, and you do it. Oh, it sucks. It didn't do enough. But luckily, Baird found a little orb, and he's like, this has more of a map. And it's like, well, that was convenient. He just found a random orb. Okay, I guess we're doing this now.
Yeah, I thought he was picking like up a random helmet of somebody. But so here's an interesting thing, and this is actually an episode I almost wish we had Aaron on, which is rare to say, but I actually wish he was here because I need like a movie perspective because there was something about the storytelling that at least in my mind comes to is like Warriors. Like, have you seen that movie? If or do you remember like the video game too? Like you're
Warriors. Is that the
the
the one
it's
of the
like the
Vikings?
1970s like gang movie, and it's like
The
the pack of
Warriors.
I
Yes.
thought it was just Warriors, but anyways, like not to squabble over that, but it had this like storytelling kind of similar to that. Like you're just like this gang who kind of gets left out, and you're trying to get back home, and it's always just like they think they're gonna, and the end of the mission comes and they're like, oh, actually, here's one more thing that went wrong, and it's just like, "Ah, all right, here we go, and you just like suit up for the next one, and it reminded me of that type of storytelling, and I'm sure there's other stories like that, but then that was the one that came to mind for me.
Oh no, I fully agree because that's the other thing. It's funny. It's like, is there no other squads? Are you guys literally like the last squad? Because this is all. So I guess I guess you could argue they had some resting moments here and there, but this is essentially start to finish them doing this entire mission, and it's just like, yeah, it's like, why is there no one else? Like, was there literally no other squads? Because yeah, like I said, at one point you got to go to the Phoenix estate. It's like there's literally no one else that's closer. Like it's super far away. You can't just send someone else just to get a stinking map. Like, why do we have to go?
Yeah. Well, here I go.
Yeah, but now you're just like, okay, I guess we're going now. I will say my one of my biggest complaints with the story is actually the main bad guy, General Rom. I kept feeling like they were trying to build this guy up to be this hulking, menacing, scary guy. And I, I guess spoilers, but I mean, heck, this game is 2006. In the end, you fight him and you kill him, and it's just like, okay, that's the end of him. And it's like, oh, like I felt like they were trying to build him up to be like, oh, he's gonna be the main bad guy for all these games, and he's gonna be, this constant looming threat. Nah, he kind of shows up once or twice and like shows himself to your squad, and then see you guys at the end of the game, and it's like, okay. And that's why I always thought it
Well,
was weird in like future games were like, oh, you can play as General Rom. He even showed up in a fighting game, I think Killer Instinct. And to me, I was just like, okay, he's just like a bigger locust dude, but I don't think he never says anything. So I'm like, is he really that menacing?
well, that's one of those things I wonder, did they have a plan to make this go 6 games or however many games it's gone at
No,
this
I
point,
think
not counting
originally
remakes.
3.
So, yeah, exactly, like, was this supposed to be a kind of a wrapped up story that was supposed to just be, like, maybe, like, a little chapter in the story? I think yeah, a big chapter, obviously, 5 acts and all the likes, but it was it supposed to be this grander thing? And also 2006, just games were built a little different in terms of
Yeah.
the story. That was actually still quite a bit of story, I feel like, for a 2006 game. Maybe not an RPG, but for a shooter action type of game like this.
I mean, you're not wrong because there is a decent amount of cutscenes. They're all quick, but yeah, you're dealing with a lot of cutscenes. Gosh, but this game also does another thing that irks me, which is also I think a very 2006 kind of era game because I know Halo did this a couple times and Halo 3, but it irritates me when like your characters stop and like you can move around, but there's a talking thing, like it's
Oh,
dialogues going on, and you can't do anything. You walk at a slow pace because there's a handful of times playing co-op, an enemy is literally attacking me, and my guy's just putting his hands up to his ear, talking on the intercom. I'm like, can I shoot the enemy here? Like I'm literally stuck here, just walking like an idiot, and I hate that. It's just like games have learned to like, oh, like dialogue will go on, but you can still play the game. No, instead this it hinders you of just let me walk really slow and talk to this person on the radio.
oh, that was driving me nuts because there was a point in particular I was getting kind of stuck at. And when I tell you that every time I reloaded that, probably 3 or 4 times, and he immediately cut to holding his ear,
Yeah,
talking,
you
walks about
can't
100
skip it.
feet, and then there's a slow, probably only about 7-second, not cut scene, but like zoom in on some enemy that screams really
Oh, the
obnoxiously, not to get
wretches.
ahead on the
Oh my
no,
god.
it wasn't even a wretch, but those are the worst. But it
Yeah.
was like something along those lines, and then it just carries on. I was like, "Oh, if I have to do this one more time, I swear to God."
Yeah. But I mean, overall though, like I don't hate this game, sorry. Like
No, I thought it
like
was interesting enough.
talking about it now, like it didn't hook me. Like even when the credits rolled, like that's the thing too, because I remember because I actually remember I see it's weird. I don't remember much of this game, but I remember bits of the story and I remember the ending. I remember going, that was it? Like, okay. Because it literally is the lady's like, oh, they don't know why we fought this war. The end. And it's just like, okay. I remember the ending pissed me off.
Like,
So
well,
like
do you know why we fought this war then? Because I don't.
I mean, honestly, I don't fully remember. Like I said, it's weird. There was moments of this game, like Liz was playing ahead of me, and she was asking me these moments, and I was like, "Oh, I thought that was in Gears too." So like a lot of these games actually kind of blended together. Like the only thing I really remember of Gears 2 is Maria over and over again. That's about it. That's honestly all I really remember of Gears 2.
That means nothing to me. But that's because again, I haven't really played a lot of the franchise. Like we did Gears 5 and I played this. That's really it. I've probably played bits and pieces of it. And I think a lot of times I played multiplayer or some like either co-op multiplayer or online multiplayer when I did at like a friend's house, like your house or
Yeah,
something.
which is surprising. Yeah, did you and Aaron not play a lot of co-op games?
No, we really didn't. Maybe some Call of Duty. It wasn't until Overwatch until like Aaron and I at least started playing a lot of video games together online.
See, because that's the thing. Like I remembered, yeah, like playing this with Dave and being like, "This is a fun game." Like I had a blast playing co-op, and then now, like I said, this was kind of on our list. Like we kind of did this podcast because I'm like, "Hey, this is an excuse to make Liz play some co-op games with me," and this was always kind of on my list. I'm like, I remember this being a lot of fun of a co-op game, and then yeah, sure enough, playing it now, it's like, man, this holds up. But yeah, I guess getting into the gameplay of it, this game really like changed a lot of games. Like this game really defined cover-based shooting. Like this really wasn't much of a thing growing up. Like, yeah, you had first-person shooters or third-person shooters. You can stand behind a wall, but like you didn't really do much. Like some games had slight cover, but this game is all cover. If you are not taking cover, you are getting smoked very quickly. And like this was a game that really kind of defined the genre. And it holds up still to this day very well. But yeah, it's a third person shooter. You are taking cover behind walls, taking out enemies, moving across. But the other big thing that's also very different about this game is the active reload. Usually you hit X, reload your gun. The end. This it was a mini game, which I remember at the time I was like, this is insane. Like they made a mini game and a reloading, an activity you constantly do in a shooter. Like super genius of it. And like
Gets
if you do it,
tedious though.
it does, but you don't have to do it. It is optional, but it's obviously a reward. If you do it perfect, you get bonus damage. If you just do it good, you get a faster reload, or you could just ignore it. You hit reload and just wait the second it takes to reload. That's it. So that's what I liked. Yes, it can get tedious, but you can ignore it.
That's true. There is something to be said for that. And I think the big thing is that if you're going to ignore it, you got to just ignore it entirely. Like, don't try to like half do it or whatever. Because if you get the penalty, you get the penalty. It sucks. Although I think if
Yeah.
you hit it if you like double tap it quick enough, the penalty offsets the amount of time it would take to just generally reset the gun. I don't know if that's true in every case, but at least with the main Lancer rifle, I'm pretty sure it's about the same amount of time.
I don't know. I never actually confirmed that.
I definitely didn't either.
Yeah.
Again, journalistic integrity doesn't happen, but I'm pretty sure
You just
that's
want to
what
make
happens.
outlandish statements and say like it's fact.
Yeah, no. Just don't test it. Just if you want to just double tap real quickly, it'll be fine. Um, but that's another complaint I have right away is there's what 6 guns in this game. It feels like okay, this is
Just about,
I
yeah.
get
There's
that
not a
it's
lot.
2006. It's just so the gameplay is fun, and I'm sure the later on in the series it gets a lot more in depth. But overall, I just thought even the gameplay was very flat. It was just like, hey, here's a gun. You're going to use it forever. It doesn't change. You don't upgrade it. The enemies are going to get a little stronger, but you're not. And there's something to be said for that. The difficulty actually gets harder as you get to the end of the game, but it's like, I don't know, there's no incentive to keep playing almost other than the story. And as you said, it's interesting enough, but is it enough?
Well, there's fun set pieces. I mean, you could argue this with a lot of games though, Keith. And that's the thing.
I'm
Like,
sure
it's
you
not a
could.
long campaign. You're looking at like 9 hours for the campaign. Because if you think about that's how Halo
Sure.
is. You're shooting aliens. Oh, granted, you also don't like Halo, but yeah, the aliens themselves really don't change. They get slightly more health, like they're higher ranked aliens, but yeah, you're just getting the same guns over and over again. It's just, but it's the set pieces and the music and like the stuff that's going on that is just a genuinely fun time. See, Keith, I feel like you're getting brain rot where it's you need to have a dopamine hit of something. Give me a
I
loot box or something. I need flashing colors and number go up.
I do. I do need number go up. But really though, like I need maybe not need. I want to at least have a little bit more expansive of the gameplay. I don't want the gameplay to just feel like I'm doing the same thing. I don't know, again, I guess yes, 10 hours. Like that's definitely within my range of general acceptability on a game. No, I'm gonna say holding me hostage, but making me, getting to the end of the gameplay, so to speak. So
Ah, I I don't know. Because like there is different gameplay. Like you get eventually the junker when you're driving a car and you got to get rid of the krill. Yeah, there's the moment the
for
krill are invading.
10 minutes,
You gotta make light to get rid of the krills. That's something
for
different.
10, the Krill, that one was kind of cool. It was like a little bit, it wasn't stealthy, but it was also, I don't know, after the first 5 barrels I shot, there wasn't a lot of like, ooh, okay, let me craft out how I'm gonna do this. You were just like, let me quickly scan the area, find the barrels, and that's my path. Occasionally, I think in the area there's like 2 at least secrets that I found that you scan a little bit further to your left and you'll find another barrel that you can shoot and run off into a building or something. I'm not criticizing it because it was fun and I actually did like that part of it, but kinda like the collectibles thing, like, I don't know, does that really change things enough that I'm like, "Wow, this is so much more interesting now." It was fun. The gameplay was fun. I wanted more exciting guns. I wanted more glory kills and things like that. I mean, I have this
That's not till
freaking
later.
gun,
Yeah.
and I will say I get that. I've seen that does happen later in the series. Yeah, I've got this stinking rifle with a chainsaw on the end of it, and the best thing I can do is kinda swing it and it's like, dead, and gosh, that's janky as all
That was
get
the
up
most
to try to make
impressive
that hit.
chainsaw noise I ever heard. It sounded like a dying cat.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. Um,
I make a
yeah,
mean dying cat sound.
I'm so
Don't get
good
me
at it.
started. Wait, yeah, what was
I'll
it like a threat
end.
of?
I'll never end.
I really end up making dying cat
Apparently, I
sounds.
know a lot about dying cat sounds. I don't know. I actually don't know what I meant by that. But what but I will say is that yeah, I wanted a little bit more. And I get that the series gives me that later on, and this is just a retouched up version of a 2006 game.
Yeah.
But it felt like it should be there, and it wasn't. and it's a little disappointing.
Oh, I hear a little one fussing. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but this is also, I think, a little bit of an issue. Is you did not play co-op, or at least you didn't play with me. I don't know if you played with anyone else. And to me, the co-op it's because that's the thing when it's like co-op, it's like, oh, we're just doing the same thing together. Two people are shooting guns, but honestly, the co-op works really well in this because it's a cover-based shooting, so it's fun to have someone kind of flank. And then every once in a while, it has these things where it's like, oh, we're splitting the group up. There's two paths. Two people go one side, two people go the other. So it's a human player and an AI, and another human player and another AI goes the other path. And they're well designed because they kind of crisscross with each other. So there's times where I'm like, crap, I'm stuck by a turret. Now I need my partner to kind of go and hopefully take that turret out for me so I can progress. Oh, I see they're pinned down. The enemy's not shooting me, but I can shoot them. So it's like this fun kind of support of each other. It's like more organic than it is like forced. Like when you're playing a co-op game like It Takes Two or A Way Out, where it's like, oh, you have to have a doors locked. You know, where's your partner opening up
Yeah,
the
blue
door?
key, red key.
Yeah, there you go. There's your co-op moment. To me, it's just this feels more organic. Of one person's up high, the other person's down low. The up high person can really take out the people in cover, but the down low person maybe has access to the Hammer of Dawn. I don't know. It's a very fun co-op game because it's simple.
No, that I can get and I could absolutely even see that as I was playing through it because of those moments where, like as you said, you're splitting the paths up, or even I joked about how short that little cutscene is in the Junker, but not having to just switch back and forth, because even though, again, yes, some slight variation in the gameplay, that's kind of boring, and it was kind of annoying to be switching back and forth. I wanted it to be a little bit more intense, and either having an AI or, a CPU in the gunner or a friend is going to just make that gameplay a little bit more fun.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, having a co-op in that one, it does kind of suck because yeah, either the car's driving or the car's shooting a laser. You can't do both. So I will say, I mean, granted, that segment's super like short, and that's
Right.
obviously not the highlight of the game.
No, and that's why I kind of laughed when you were like, "Well, no, you get to do in the Junker."
Well,
Like,
I
no,
was just saying it does change the gameplay. It is a
y-
change of gameplay. Not a
for
good
for
change, but it is a change.
for 5 minutes, and
Change is
5 minutes
change.
only if you have to do a single player. It can't be more than 3 if you're doing that as co-op.
I mean, it's like I said, but like there's a good amount of defensive ones where enemies attack and you got to kind of hold off the wave. Like those moments are fun. Those moments when you're like doing a bunker down and kind of fighting off hordes of enemies, that's the
Well,
thing.
that's a lot of what the multiplayer outside of campaign is, right? Like they
No,
were
horde didn't come
like
till the
that's an
second.
okay, because but even still, like Gears of War as a franchise, they were the ones who like really, I don't want to say perfected horde mode, but
Well,
popularized it. Or was it just more
that's a
around
good.
that era and they were a big one of it? Because
I'm trying
I
to
could have
think if
sworn they
Halo
were
or
one of the
Gears of War came out with horde first. I gotta look this up.
Halo. I feel like didn't do it until
ODST
and
is when
I'm
they came out with the horde mode.
yeah.
It's called Firefight.
Okay, that's what I was trying to come up with. I was gonna say, and I'm not a Halo expert, but I thought ODST was it. And Gears, I thought was because
2008
I
was
bought
Gears 2, and
and I bought
2009 was
ODST
Halo
on
ODST. So Gears of War came out first with a horde mode.
yeah. So and Horde kind of fits them a little better. Like I feel like it would have
Oh yeah.
been branded differently if ODST had done it.
Well, they call it Firefight, so they did brand it
Well,
differently.
they did, but but when people were playing it, they were like, "Oh, it's Horde mode."
Yeah.
It, like that's what it would have been branded as by everyone else.
But yeah, which did you play the multiplayer at all?
I didn't.
I played
Is
one
it still
game.
like live if you can actually like if you play online?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because this
People
just
are playing?
came out, and this is now on
Uh,
PlayStation, so there's crossplay.
that's true. A lot
The
of people who
PlayStation
actually
people have to buy the game though. You get it on
like,
Game Pass.
and it's so wild because not to sidetrack us too much, but like there haven't necessarily been, and this isn't in a shot way at all, but there hasn't been a lot of games on PlayStation that I'm like, oh, I've been itching to play that. Like Spider-Man, there's definitely has been games I've wanted to come to Xbox, but I don't
Helldivers.
think there's been Helldivers, and actually I haven't played as much of it as I've wanted to, but I did get it. And yeah, it's just funny to see like I don't know, to see games like this going over to PlayStation, to think there are people who've never had access to any of these, and we've had what, 5, 6 of them.
Yep. Yeah. 6, because there is a prequel called Gears of War Judgment. But yeah, and it's weird because like during this, I was looking up locations for the cog tags, the collectibles, and it brought me up to like a PlayStation trophy website, and I was like, nah, this feels weird. But also, I don't hate it. I'm not. We've done an episode on it. I'm not a salty fanboy that's like, oh, this is an Xbox game. For me, this is an old game. It's a great game too. So for me, I'm like, yeah, this is great that it's hitting other audience. But it's surprising that Gears of War, the very first one here, this is technically like its second remastering, because it was Gears of War Ultimate and now it's Gears of War Reloaded, but they haven't done any of the other Gears of War 2 or Gears of War 3. And it's just like, okay, I'm assuming those are next on the block. Like, obviously, they want to do, because this is the first one, the Gears of War Reloaded is now on PlayStation. So to me, it's like, okay, this makes sense of them introducing the PlayStation people, and the other games are going to be coming, get hooked, and now you're going to want to buy the other ones. And I don't know. I play okay, so anyway, but yeah, I played one game in the multiplayer, and it's still Gears of War. I used to love this game back in the day in high school, but this is also, the multiplayer in this game is also very much, as I say, like Rocket League, where there is a huge skill gap. You're either someone who knows how to, in Gears of War, it's all about wall bouncing. You either know how to wall bounce or you don't, and you die very quickly. When you see like people who know how to wall bounce, they're literally just ping ponging everywhere with a shotgun and just taking you out in one hit. And it's like, okay, this is insane. So like, I just always got turned off with a little bit of the multiplayer because I'm too old. I am not going to be wall bouncing. I am not going to be doing that anymore. Like I used to be okay with it in high school, but I don't have the time for this now.
I just never I don't know, maybe gimmick isn't the right word, but I've just
Nah,
never
it's a little
been
gimmicky.
good. Yeah, like never been good at gimmicks in games.
Yeah,
Like it's
same.
if there's like a hey, you have to just do this thing, like it, and maybe this is me. I don't even say old man yelling at the cloud, because probably for as long as online video games have existed, it's been my thing. Like I hate one trick pony, or quoting even like meta strategies. Like
Yeah,
if there's 25 characters in the game, all 25 of them should be playable.
yeah,
Don't tell me that I should only be playing 10 of them.
yeah.
That's just
Oh, you need
stupid.
to have this guy on your team or you lose. I hate that.
Unless
Hate
it's Hanzo.
it.
Never play Hanzo. But
Or
outside
Widowmaker.
of that, like, yeah, exactly. But realistically, like every character, everything should be playable, everything should be functional. And I hate that games are. And I think more like we were joking about this a little bit, earlier. Of course I like it because it's a roguelike or a survivor game, whatever. But those are the best games at going, hey, here's 150 different options and 150 ways to beat this game, which turns into really limitless ways to beat a game, and everything is functional and playable. And I love that about those games.
I don't know,
Some
Keith. I'm
don't
gonna
do it.
put a little pushback here. I feel like a lot of those roguelikes have a meta that you need to do. You were just talking
If
about, oh,
you
you need to have this card with this, and then you can have infinite damage, but you gotta have those
if you
cards.
Yeah, if you want to completely maximize the game, but I could beat everything. Like I can go through. Now, some are different than others. Like we'll say like an inscription, and we've talked about that. Like it was like you have to get it on the first 5 rounds or whatever, basically. And you're gonna win or not win around. But overall, I think though, even within that kind of genre, I think there's just certain ones that are different than others. Like we'll talk about it at a probably future date, but Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, I think, is a really good example of a game that basically anything you pick can be playable if you kind of just play it right. But all that to say, we kind of got sidetracked here. I
We never do that on
Online
this podcast.
gameplay, I don't like gimmicky things of wall bounces and the diving and all of that crap. I just give me a fight, and I'm still gonna lose either way. I want it to be a fair loss.
It's yeah, but I agree with you. I can't stand gimmicky stuff like building in Fortnite, drop shotting in Call of Duty. Like I cannot do that stuff. I always hate that. But speaking of the online multiplayer, though, it always kind of made me chuckle. Like I said, I booted up the original, so the original Xbox 360 one, Do you remember the beginning of games? They always said online experience may change. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
man,
Huh?
every game had that had online. You don't see that anymore. It was always their subtle
It's
warning of
just
like,
given. They're just like,
yeah,
yeah, this is gonna be awful.
hey,
You
just
know
so
it.
you know,
We
if you
know
play
it.
online, you're probably gonna be called terrible things, and people will be doing things to your mother.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore. They don't warn you anymore because they now ban people all the time. Before it was just a slight warning.
Now they're just like, hey, you're older than 13, right? Right?
Right?
You said yes. It's
Hey,
not a
we're
problem
monitoring your
anymore.
chat. You say something naughty, you're gone.
Yeah. You said yes, it's not our problem anymore. We're just
Yeah.
gonna try to loosely pay attention.
uh, but yeah, the gameplay, like to me, it's still. I guess Keith disagrees. To me, that's I don't fully disagree with you. You are doing a lot of cover shoot, but I don't know. I think you just really missed out playing co-op because I can see where you're coming from. I was playing single player a lot, which I also gotta ask, what difficulty you play, Keith?
Normal.
Okay, which that's also I did not realize. I thought they always had it, but when I booted up the original, there's only 3 difficulties: casual, hardcore, and then insane, which insane's locked. You have to beat the game in order to unlock insane. But in Gears of War Reloaded, there's 5 difficulties. There's like, yeah, casual, normal, hard, and insane. I think it's just 4. Um, but yeah, I liked that they did this. The thing that stunk, it took me a while to figure out. So Liz was playing on easy because she's like, I just want to beat this game. So she's like, and she really enjoyed easy because she could actually one hit kill people with a sniper. And I jumped into her game, but I was playing on hard. And it did this weird thing. It didn't tell me, but it took me a while to figure it out. So since I was normally playing on hard and she's on easy, and I was playing on her game, the enemies had easy health, but they were doing hard damage to me. And it was pissing me off. I'm like, why am I getting downed in casual? I'm like, this makes no sense. And it's pissed me off because Liz is like, I have to revive you again. And I'm like, I'm not bad at this game, I swear. But I'm taking people out super quick. Like it's taking like a quarter of a clip to kill somebody. Like that's not how it's played and hard. I'm like, I don't get why I'm struggling. And it took me a second. Then I saw her screen. She took a direct sniper shot, and her health, which oh yeah, this game also like kind of revolutionized health. Of you always regenerated health. You didn't have a health bar. Like this is an early game that kind of did that. In this, you have
Halo
a
did that pretty early on, right?
no Halo
Or
1
you
had
sure?
health. And it was Halo 2 where they got rid of the health bar,
Okay.
which I'm pretty sure this came out first before Halo 2.
Yeah.
I gotta quickly Google this now.
Because this is 06. Well, Halo 2 you said was 08. No, ODST was 08.
Oh wait, 04. Okay, so I guess Halo 2 actually. Man, that's crazy. I did not realize Halo 2 came out before Gears did. To me, in my mind, Halo 1 and Gears were like a year or two apart, but I guess not. That's crazy. But
Yeah, it could have
anyway,
been one of those like late, early year release types of things. But anyways.
yeah. But anyway, so I saw Liz get hit with a sniper and she barely took damage. So that's when it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, I'm taking hard damage while we're playing on easy. So it's weird. This game has this weird meta of like, you're
How does it
choosing your
track
difficulty
that?
that you're playing. I don't know. Because also when I look at my chapter select, it says I beat those levels on easy. So even though it was a harder time for me, I only got credit for technically beating it on easy. And it's like, nah, this
That's so
sucks.
weird.
Yeah, and it's weird that they just don't tell you. I thought I heard something about it because that's what they do in the new Gears, like Gears 4 and 5. If you play co-op, it specifically asks each player what difficulty you want to do and adjust the difficulty that way. So that I remember we did that with Gears 5. I was like, oh, I'll play on normal or hard, and Liz played on easy, and it could cater to our entertainment. But yeah, it
Yeah,
was this. It
that
just
makes
didn't tell
sense.
you, and it was just it was irritating me because like Liz is obviously doing fine, and I'm like, how am I dying? I'm sorry,
Well,
we have to
especially I
restart
guess if it's
again.
only like half done too, where you're doing easy difficulty, so you're just like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
because
getting like half the fun
exactly, it was
with
throwing
none
my
of the
brain off
difficulty.
constantly because I'm like, oh yeah, this is easy. I'm smoking people. Then I'd stop. I'd instantly get out of cover and then instantly die. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what's going on here? Yeah. So there's a little forewarning. If you're playing on different difficulty, make sure you're both playing on the same one. Adjust your difficulty accordingly. Um, but anyway, Let's get into, I guess, the graphics. I guess Liz probably will not be able to join us. I hear our little one is not having a good night. Graphically, though, this game, okay. What do you think of the graphics, Keith? Because I forgot to mention this at the beginning. You never played the original, you said.
Not the original, no.
Okay.
Just like the Gears 5, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So the one we covered in the podcast.
No, I thought overall, like, it was nice and shiny and everything looked good. There's bad model interaction in
Yeah.
terms of like melee kills and things like that, but everything looks really good graphically.
Yeah. You can see it's still on the same engine. It just has like a new coat of paint on it. Yeah. There is some weird model stuff, even too, like in the cutscenes, like their mouths are moving, but it's like not organic. Like this is like kind of before mocap really was good. So you can kind of see in like some of the cutscenes, like the emotions don't quite hit. But overall, the graphics look very good. But what's actually surprising me, these actually aren't that different of graphics from the original game. Like obviously there's more pixels, better frame rate, but like that's the other thing that surprised me. Like I booted up the 2006 version. I'm like, this game still looks very good. This is the other thing that also is very iconic with Gears of War is the ragdoll physics. I love when you have these big beefy
great.
creatures and you just kick them around like they're just a paper bag.
Yeah, try to throw them off of walls and stuff, which it won't let you do. Every wall is an invisible barrier to
Yeah.
its own credit. Sometimes nice. No accidental deaths. But that said, yeah, there's really good things there. But I would be curious though, 2006, that would have been pushing 1080p originally. Now I know 1080p
Yeah.
and actual graphical capabilities are two different functionalities, but all the same, like that would have been on the cusp of where graphics started to, I think, break through. And I could see Gears of War being a studio that would have had access to
It
push
was
the boundaries a little
720p.
bit more. Okay.
1080p wasn't much of a thing till the Xbox Series Elite, the Xbox Series, the Xbox 360 Elite. There we go. That's when they actually started to normalize 1080p.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember this was OG Xbox 360. So it only did 720. But yeah, and like that was definitely what you could see is pixelation. The fidelity obviously got increased, and like I said, the big thing too was darkness. Like the beginning of this cutscene, the very beginning of the game, Marcus Phoenix is in prison. He looks up. There's wretches looking at him. In the original game, you could not make them out. It is like pitch black. Like you see a little outline of kind of their face, but everything else is super dark. It's like, man, I had to go to the options and bump up the brightness because it's like game is just baseline very dark. But yeah, overall though, it impresses me actually how well these graphics hold up. But the audio though in this game, what do you think? I liked it. It's still iconic sounds. I love the voice acting. The voice acting is still the same, which actually holds up very well.
I think it's hit or miss on varying levels. Sound effects, pretty awful, mostly. Like guns, good. The locust, like you said, the wretches, they just scream. Not just the wretches, but just about everything is screaming. Which I didn't bring this up, but this always makes me laugh. Like make a weird reference to like Lord of the Rings as another one, but like you have these like the orcs or the locusts, and they just have this weird level of technology and like industry that makes no sense for the fact that they're otherwise basically languageless monsters. Like, I don't fully understand the concept of that. Like you have these giant hulking corpsers, but they're also armored up with technology and stuff. And like,
Yeah, but they're essentially like an animal.
what weird sci-fi world is this? But it's a very common thing, so I don't know. We've just all come to accept it, but it's just a weird thing to me.
See, but this is the thing I really like about this game, though, is its world building. As I said, this isn't Earth. This is but everything in this
This is
game
true, and they
feels
don't make
human.
a big deal about that though. It's
No,
very
yeah,
subtle, and I will agree with you on that. Like, it's very much they're just like, "Oh yeah, Sarah's in danger," and they don't say it in a way that makes it sound like Sarah or a person. Like, you know that they're talking with the planet, and then you're like, "Oh wait, we're not on Earth," but
yeah,
they don't really explain anything else about it.
yeah.
They're just
You
like,
wouldn't
"Hey, you're
think
not
it.
on."
You're
They're
seeing
just like
cobblestone
casually assume.
buildings.
Yeah, they just casually mention you're not on Earth, and then nothing ever against about it.
Yeah,
It so, it's one of those weird contexts that even without having played all of the Gear series, just knowing that they exist, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure all of this lore that I don't know and can't make sense of in this one game is out there," but constantly, I'm like, "None of this makes sense." But yeah, what we were talking about, though, is the audio is I hated the sound effects overall of the monsters. They didn't make sense. Well, not they didn't make sense. They were just screechy and annoying. The guns were fine. The music. I want to talk about the music. It's really, really good, but it's also really, really weird to me because it has a very who's the guy who did Star Wars? I should know. Well,
oh my gosh, I'm drawing
you
a
should
blank now
know
too.
this.
I know. Oh my gosh,
I feel like there's a Z in there somewhere.
Hans Zimmer.
Is that
Is
it?
that it? John Williams. Thank you. God, I
John
gotta look that
Williams.
up. Yeah, the
There's
Hans
just
Zimmer's
so
the other
many
name of
moments.
it. Yeah.
It has that kind of thematic sound to it. It's like there's flutes and full orchestras, but it's not like Halo where it's thematic and
We're at the end.
big.
Oh.
It's there, and and at points it almost feels like even fun. There's just something about it. The music
Okay.
is really, really good, but it's weird to me. Does that make sense?
No, it does. Like, because a lot of times it's kind of in the background, but this is like 2006. Like they really put effort in the music because like Halo did. Like Halo obviously is
Yeah.
one of the most iconic soundtracks, and it's just I I mean I didn't fully play the original because I was curious. I'm like, is some of this copyright that it needs to be quiet or changed? I don't think it was. I couldn't remember. One of them ends in a rap song. It, I mean, we didn't watch the full
That's
credits.
amazing.
Yeah, it has Cole like saying lines as he's like kind of like
Oh, that's even
it,
better then.
there's like a little bit of techno. Which I have a question. So since this planet's called Sarah, the people would be called Sarans or Sarans, right?
Serenites?
Yeah, so would that be called Saran rap?
Yeah.
When you do rap music, is it Saran rap?
I'm not going to dignify that with any type of acknowledgement. I'm just going to agree and say, yeah, that sounds great.
It was kind of something to think about. Like, yeah, it's a Saran rap. Okay. But but the music I do agree is good, but it just I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna be curious.
Like, it almost doesn't make sense at times. Like I don't want to call it a Disney movie because it's not like lighthearted and like skipping through the forest type of music. But there's points where it just feels a lot lighter than what the moment is.
Yeah. So Kevin Ripple is the one who did this music, and he did then Steve Jablonsky does Gears 2 and 3.
Jablonski.
That's a great last name. But I remember the music getting better in the games. So
But it's not bad though. That's what I'm
no, it's
saying.
not.
Like it's I don't want to talk down to it because it actually is really good. And I was like I was trying to pay attention. I was like, oh, I really like this. But at the same time, I was like, this is weird. It's just it's strange.
But I love you got who the voice actor was in Marcus Phoenix, right?
No, actually.
John DiMaggio, the guy who does the voice of Bender. I mean, he does a ton of voices. He does Adventure Time. He's been in like honestly just about anything. Like, but yeah,
I have to
one of
go
his
back
more
and
iconic
listen
roles
to
is Bender.
I have to go back and listen to it now, but yeah.
I mean, the guy has range because like you would not hear Bender. There were some moments he said where I'm like, oh, that kind of sounded a little bit like Bender.
I bet I can hear it now if I go back and listen to it. Even if not like consistently, but I bet like you were saying, like, oh, I can kind of hear that.
But
But I never would have picked that up.
yeah, as far as like sounds go, though, like with your complaint with some of the aliens, I get where you're coming from. For me, the most annoying part is when the game like pauses and it zooms in on a wretch and they scream loud and loud and louder. It's just
Yeah.
annoying. Liz had a note on that she wanted to say. Unfortunately, she's not here. But when that first happened, our dog freaked out. Like our dog just started barking at the TV and wanted to attack the TV. Once again, that's a very 2006 thing of like stopping the game and giving you this annoying thing you can't skip. Uh, but anyway, achievements though, the achievements of this game are great. Well, nope, I'm taking that back. Single player achievements are pretty good. But this game, once again, very 2006. There's a ton of multiplayer achievements. I remember a lot of games have gotten rid of multiplayer achievements. Like they'll have some here and there, but honestly, not half, but at least a quarter, if not a third, of the achievements are multiplayer. Leveling up your account to a certain level, getting the iconic achievement for the Gears of War. It's called Seriously, which in Gears of War 1, it's getting 10,000 multiplayer kills or 1,000. I think it's 10,000. And then, of
Jeez.
course, Gears 2 has Seriously 2.0, and it's getting 100,000 kills in anything. So even single player counts. And then, yeah, Gears 3 had Seriously 3.0. So it's like an ongoing achievement thing. So it's kind of iconic. But yeah, the achievements to do them are pretty easy. Like getting the single player ones, like beating this game on Insane isn't very hard. You just got to take your time. But the collectibles are very easy. Did you ever catch the trick for the collectibles, Keith?
No.
See, Liz didn't notice it, but once again, this is something I just knew from old gaming knowledge. But the red bloody gear symbol you will see in the game is an indicator that there's a collectible nearby.
Oh, so I did pick up on that that red symbol. I thought it had something to do with like at least trying to almost like the yellow paint type of thing.
Well, kind of, but yeah,
Which I mean it is,
yeah,
but yeah, I was thinking of it more like you're going in the right direction. But I mean, how many are there in total?
33.
33? Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. There's an
And
achievement for
did you get a
33.
lot of them?
No, I think I had like 7.
The cool thing though with this remastered is when you're collecting them, you're unlocking pages of a comic book. Comic books. There's 5. Because I remember there was a pretty significant comic book series with Gears of War, like filling in the lore, especially the prequel, which is the Pendulum War, which was the two nations kind of fighting each other. And it's cool that you get a full fledged comic book.
And you also get an achievement for that too if you read the comic book.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't get the achievement because I didn't get a full comic book, but
so that's a great thing about this remastered for the PlayStation people who haven't played the other games, and have more of the context. There's comic books here, and those will
you're
help fill in the
welcome.
gap.
We
Yeah.
walked so you can run.
Enjoy it. But yeah, it's really cool. Nice feature. I'm glad they added it. But yeah, I guess let's get into our final thoughts here. So for me, Gears of War Reloaded, it's very much Gears of War. If you have never played the Gears of War games, you absolutely should. And this is a great starting point. It actually, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. The controls, I think it's more because of the frames are better, but are way smoother in this. Going back to the original 360 version, it felt jankier, like trying to aim. But like I said, I think it's because the frames were probably lower. But yeah, this is a ton of fun. If you have someone to play with, they don't need to be a hardcore gamer. Like this isn't a very hard game, but it is a very fun co-op game. So playing it on easy or normal, it's a fun buddy game. So absolutely recommend playing this co-op with somebody. But it still holds up. It's still the shooting's solid. The story is okay. You know, obviously there's some gaps missing, but there's other Gears games you can play to fill in those gaps. So you don't have to wait around like I did back in 2006. But it's good. You're gonna have a ton of fun. The multiplayer is still good. It's still solid, but there is a pretty significant skill gap. But heck, doesn't hurt to try. You know, there's skill-based matchmaking, so hopefully you won't get go against sweaty people. But for me, this is still easily a 90. You know, I have some issues a little bit with the audio and the unskippable moments, but that's kind of part of its age. As far as the package goes for this game, I had a ton of fun with this, and I forgot how much I enjoyed Gears of War.
Now, overall, like you said, and I'm glad I actually kind of stuck to my guns on this a little bit because I think I've maybe talked myself up a little bit more as we've talked it out here. But even still, like this is a game, and that's where I started with, and I would stand by, but I'm just not excited about it. Like, it for me personally, it doesn't make me want to go play the other Gears games, but having this crossover into PlayStation and really unlocking this series for a whole new sets of gamers, I think that yeah, I would recommend going and playing this and checking it out because maybe it is for you. Just because I know that it's not for me doesn't mean it's a bad game because there's a lot of things I did like about it. I think thematically it's pretty cool. The story is kind of flat, but I think the even though the characters aren't overly engaging in people that I care about, they're entertaining
Yeah.
enough, especially like I mentioned the Coltrane and the Baird relationship, like they're just kind of entertaining, the two of them bantering back and forth. I like that. Yeah, the gameplay again, kind of flat. It doesn't have a ton, but it's fun enough. And it really, like we've talked about, it opened the doors for so many other things. I think the biggest thing it comes down to is I don't like cover shooters. I don't have the patience for them. I want to get in
You
there and
don't
I
like
want to doom.
shooters.
I do in some cases. I just want to doom style it more than anything. I just want to get in there. I want to action, have fun, and this is fun. I just don't like sitting back and hiding behind a barricade. Just doesn't seem as fun to me. But I also didn't play multiplayer, and I could even playing it single player could see where it's more fun multiplayer than not. Still not going to go crazy with this, and I'm going to give it a 79 in a game. I know, whatever, but I was ready for low 70s with a game on this, but I'm going to give it a 79 because it really is good, and the music, while it doesn't make sense, it's so good. It really is. Like, just listen to the music and it's good. It just doesn't make sense. But that makes it entertaining. And I think that there's moments that the dialogue is even intentionally goofy, like for the purposes of what they're trying to do. I don't know. I like what they're doing as the product. And I think if you're looking to get into the series, start here. Like, don't start with the original one like Andrew did, who did it for nostalgia, to go back and play the 2006 version. Play this one, and if you like it, keep playing it on Game Pass, and hopefully they bring them to PlayStation, or just get a Game Pass subscription and go
Yep.
stream it
Playing on
on cloud or
PC.
something. Yeah, like, you can literally cloud stream it on your phone. So just go do that. But anyways,
Actually, this
game.
may be a question. Is this
Everything.
on PC?
I don't know, but
Well, Gears of War. Well, this one is, but yeah, I guess 2 and 3 are not because they haven't done a remastered with them.
say, not to be all Xbox advertisement because they're not paying us, but they should be, because I do this for free. But everyone's got a smartphone now. Get a Game Pass subscription. You could be playing this on cloud on your phone, even if you're a PlayStation person through and through in your life. You could just have cloud play on your phone on
Yeah.
so many games that are Xbox exclusive. But also, it's cool that they're coming to PlayStation too. Like, I'm happy that they're doing that for you guys and all the likes. But
Alrighty. I think that'll do it for us this week. Sorry, Liz couldn't be more in this episode. Our little one's kind of struggling. But please make sure you go to GamePassGrabback.com. Check out our past reviews. You can write us an email. Go to our link tree. I'll have that in the show notes as well. Join our Discord. Write us an email. Say hello. We always love hearing from you people. But yeah, I've been your hardcore gamer, Sandra. You can find me at Xbox Live at Firebird0952.
Thank you. I was gonna say no. I was gonna say it's weird without Aaron to like abruptly end this. So I was glad that you just did the music because I have nothing to say.
Okay.
And I'll just say bye.
Oh,
I've been Keith.
I'm playing the intro. Hold on. Wait.
You said that there's a difference, and I couldn't tell you if there's one.
And difference in
But
volume.
anyways,
All right, we love you all. We'll see you again next week. Hopefully we get Liz on board.